Last August, during my dad's final weeks of his earthly life, we took the trip of a lifetime to Kenya. One of our stops was in a dreamy home in Diani Beach on the Indian Ocean on the eastern coast of Africa. A synovial sarcoma had taken over my dad's body, and at that point, he was fully in a wheelchair. The area of the home we were staying in at the beach wasn't fully accessible. The house staff watched us struggle to lift his wheelchair over several stairs to get him from his room to the main house for meals. Within hours, they called in a team to build custom ramps. I was deeply overcome with this profound, proactive act, allowing us a bit of grace in the midst of our grief and him agency in his final days. Now my dad was able to come and go easily from his room to the table and back again, with 3 or 4 of us moving and lifting along the way. While I watched the men build ramps, exactly measuring the height of the stairs and meticulously place them, knowing we were only there for a short time, I knew I was witnessing something holy. The staff saw an elder among us, sick yet able, saw our desire to care and tend, and suddenly, ordinary tools, wood, and hands became sacred. Jacob is a fugitive in the story here. Do you remember what happened in Genesis right before this? He just manipulated his elderly father into giving him the birthright blessing away from his twin brother Esau. Yep, that happened right before. So he's running when we find him here. He's far from home, far from his unknown destination. He was, arguably rightly, ostracized from his family and lies down to sleep, not because it was a premeditated place, but because it was dark and he was tired. He used a stone for a pillow, and while doing so, he had a dream. In it, he sees a salam. That's the Hebrew word, and it's the only time that particular word is used in the Bible. It's best thought to mean not necessarily a ladder, as we have come to always say, but possibly a wide ramp or an escalator. And on it, angels moving in both directions. The Salam was not part of an escape route, a quick exit from the world of struggle and hardship. It was movement. Movement of angels and movement between heaven and earth. Jacob never gets on the Salam. He stands and watches. Jacob's dream was awakening to God's ever-presence among us, yes. And that's usually the takeaway from this story, which is very powerful. But it's also a dream, and this is what's sticking with me today, about the proximity between heaven and earth. A space not void, but alive with movement. With angels ascending and descending, meaning there are angels among us. Right? Because if they're ascending, they're here with us, and then coming back down. The divine messengers were already moving on earth, even though Jacob may not have known it. Who are your angels? I heard that. When have you been an angel? I've started to name mine. I'm not kidding. And it's been a really powerful thing for me. Mom, Katrina seems to show up for you in a lot of really important times, Levi reflected to me once. Yeah, like the time I got a sudden UTI, couldn't move, had all 4 kids, backpacks, a stroller, mandami, canvassing materials, and Masaryk Towers. Just as I finally got everyone seated and admitted defeat for the day, Katrina appears. got me medicine and cranberry juice, if you know, you know, and stayed with us until I felt strong enough to get everyone home. Or the time I literally ran into her outside Abrams Art Center. At the exact moment my phone rang and was a Spanish speaker from Middle's community program, whose family member was just detained and kidnapped in New Jersey. By the grace of God, I could pass her the phone because she's bilingual. Or the time she called me the day Alan was detained and I was still at Federal Plaza, asking me about passing out turkeys. Remember, it was just before Thanksgiving. But it lent me the moment to say, Katrina, friend, I can't do turkeys right now. You gotta help me. We have a bad situation here. And then she's the one who made the phone call to John Blasco and Dan Goldman's office, who then got us Alan's lawyer from Make the Road, New York. Yes, Levi, I replied. Katrina is one of my earth angels. And I don't say this to subscribe unlofty or superficial powers to her or to anyone, but to claim that we are all divine, right? When we awaken to the fact that God is here, and therefore so are all of us. There are angels for the leaving and angels for the arriving, angels for the places that we know, and angels for the places that we don't know yet. Angels who release us from what was and what we don't need anymore, and angels who hold us into what we are becoming. What are we bringing up that ramp right now? And what, therefore, is raining back down on us? Because though God is always here and has always been here, there's nothing we can do to change that. I do believe that what we do here makes a difference. Sometimes we send up prayers, don't we? And then next steps or visions might come down. Sometimes we send up grief and comfort comes down. Sometimes we send up hopes and dreams and strength for resistance rains down. Yes, heaven and earth aren't so far apart. We move between them. We are all portals of possibility and purpose. Our very bodies, sites of liberation, places where God's promises live. And when we awaken to that truth, we can't disregard any bodies, right? Lest our own. Nolan Wells's body would never be left if we saw him as a divine portal. Babies in Gaza would not be slaughtered on our dollar voted for again this week if we truly believed that they were sites of liberation. Trans siblings' rights would not be stripped away. Family members wouldn't be wasting away in cages. People wouldn't be kidnapped and killed by ICE. Wombs wouldn't be regulated if we saw each body as a portal of possibility. A week from today, I'm taking 11 middle youngsters to Camp Fowler. You heard Reverend Natalie mention that before. A camp that Middle has had a long and rich history with. Has anybody here been? It's up in the Adirondacks. There we will explore faith and play together in God's creation, and you're going to all be praying for me. This week, I was speaking with some of the parents, one of whose child is a young black boy. How are you all feeling about camp, I asked. To be honest, after Nolan Wells, we're pretty shook. We're not feeling the best. Their gut-wrenching honesty reminds us that not everybody has the ability to lay and sleep and dream in public. And that part of my ongoing awakening should be to continually figure out how to rid this world of white supremacy. The awakening that Jacob has is important and teachable, but predicated on safety and privilege, right? God, can we create a world where all people can rest? Where all people can dream? where any stone anybody wants can be a site of sanctuary? Can we rid this world of white supremacy? Reverend Dr. Kelly Brown Douglas calls American stand your ground culture one that treats the white body as the castle, as though wherever white bodies travel, the ground belongs to us and must be defended from black presence. Stand your ground culture is in contrast, of course, to the truth that is God's ground, and God intends it to be a blessing for all God's people, which are all people. After Jacob's dream, he is awakened to the fact that the ground where he lays is holy. God is there. God is with him. Jacob's dream didn't cause God to show up, nor did Jacob do anything. Rather, God was always there, and it was Jacob who needed to be woken to that reality. When politicians and church leaders and family members disregard bodies and traffic and oppression and exploitation, they need to be woken to the reality that God is here and that there is room in this family of love and liberation for them, even them. Waking isn't a one-time thing, beloveds. There are moments in each of our lives where we need to stop or be stopped and awaken to a new truth about God's promises for us and the world. Jacob, on the run, thinks he's in between places. He's scared. He's not sure where he stands in his family's graces. He's unsure where he's going. He doesn't know if Esau is coming after him. And this is precisely the place God says, I am with you. I will keep you. I will bring you home. I will not leave you. I think a lot of people, white Christian men in particular, do some crappy things because they're lonely, insecure, afraid. What if they could be healed enough to know that God's promises, I am with you, I will keep you, I will bring you home, I will not leave you, are even for them? Maybe hurt people would stop hurting people. St. Anthony of the Desert says that gaining a brother or sister or sibling and winning God are linked. It is not getting them signed up to something or getting them on your side. It is opening doors for them to healing and to wholeness. Insofar as you open such doors for another, you gain God, in the sense that you become a place where God happens for somebody else. God comes to life for somebody else in a life-giving way, not because you are good or wonderful, but because that is what God has done. The holy place, the sacred place, is not where everything's figured out, right? It's not the place, it is the place where in the middle of the mess, in vulnerability, in brokenness, and in injustice, we awaken to God's presence that has never left us. Jacob is awed by this. How awesome is this place, he says. This is none other than the house of God and a gate to heaven. How often do we let ourselves be awed? Would it help if we believed our awe could live right alongside our evolution, our fear, our in-between and our outcast places? A lot of times we put pressure on ourselves to go find sanctuary, go to that special place, go clear your head, go touch grass, go sit by water, whatever. Sometimes, though, the place where transformation and awakening happens is chosen for us. It happens to us. The awakening happens to Jacob while he's asleep, vulnerable and without his normal agency to resist. Don't y'all think God knows how to reach you? God does. When Alan was sent to his final detention center in Natchez, Mississippi, and we were cautiously but optimistically planning for his release, I was on the phone with a pastor from there. I think, Mackie, you were on the phone with me. And that pastor said, this has kind of become our ministry. I send people here because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's extremely hard to get to. It's not on anybody's radar. And I said, well, what I didn't know is that there is nowhere beyond God. Affirming their ministry and the sacredness of that very place. God does not occupy sacred spaces. Every place exists within God. And there's power in that distinction. Every place exists within God. Everybody moving between heaven and earth, dancing between the stones where our heads lay to rest, and the dreams and glimpses of heaven is sacred. Ooh, baby. Do you know what it's worth? Ooh, heaven is a what? They say in heaven, what comes first? Love comes first. We'll make heaven a place on earth. And when the world's alive with the sounds of kids on the street outside, in this world, we're just beginning to understand the miracle of living. Baby, I was afraid before, but I'm not afraid anymore. What might happen if we embody this dream? This awakening to God with us already, always in us and around us and for us. Such an awakening would change us. It caused Jacob to move the stone that was his pillow, stand it up, anoint it with oil, and make it an altar. Not as a symbol that things are easy, that we weren't running, afraid, messed up, manipulated power, and stole stuff, but as a reminder that the hard wasn't not hard, but that the hard thing can testify that hardness was not the only thing. This isn't everything happens for a reason, like toxic theology. The stone doesn't prove the pain was necessary, but it proves that pain did not have exclusive possession of the story. Now, the hard thing is the sacred thing. Or was it always? We're on the ramp, you all. Where are you right now? Are you ascending or descending? Or going around in circles? Who is moving with you? Who can't seem to understand that there's room for them? Who have we attempted to push off, even though God never has? Do you see God with you? Not at the top. A lot of times this story is told with God at the top, but that's not how the Hebrew is translated. The Hebrew tells us that God is beside Jacob, moving with him. What's God saying to you? Levi is also in that really fun academic sponge phase, so I like to exegete my sermons with him. The point of this passage, Mom, is that God is always with us, even in the hard times. Okay, thanks, I said. And this is all happening via text. So then I say, okay, cool, I think so too. So then, what kind of present day examples could I give to demonstrate this? Well, Levi said, you're going through a dead dad and a divorce. So talk about that. If you think God is with you. And it was the if you think God is with you that really got me. Almost like a little angel whisper. Do I? Do you? In whatever you're going through? What difference would it make if you really believed that God was with you? How do God's promises affect what you are going through? What stones do you need to erect to testify that the hard thing is here? That the hard thing happened, but that it isn't only hard, but possibly sometimes also holy. How many stones can you stand up? What kind of altar are you building? What story will it tell? Earth is so thick with divine possibility that it is a wonder we can walk anywhere without cracking our shins on altars. Barbara Brown Taylor writes. The places we rest, the places where we run from God and our mistakes, the places we think are ordinary are sacred, reminding us that the space between heaven and earth is porous. And we, angels, all of us, are doing the divine dance of life.